Hello, hi everyone. I'm Vinny. I'm here from New York City, live to this new event talk show. We are talking about BizBash that is coming up next week, and we're gonna have this special talk between us, InEvent, and Interactive Entertainment Group, our special guest today. So yeah, that's gonna be an amazing show next week, and we want to warm up today. So I want you to know if you are on LinkedIn, YouTube, or here in the InEvent platform, I see a bunch of people that already tune in. So invite also your friends or people that would like to be on this bash and not gonna be this year, but we're gonna cover everything live from the trade show. And I want to invite our guests. So I'm here with Patricia, Arieli, and Daniele. They represent Interactive Entertainment Group, and it's a pleasure to have you today as a guest.
Hi,
Hello, how
Hi.
are you?
Hi, how
Hello.
are you?
We're
I'm
happy to
well,
be
doing
here.
good. Yes, thank you for coming. So, we know Interactive Group is a nationwide event production company, right? You guys are specializing in experiential events and activations.
Correct.
So, what kind of experience and activation do you provide to your customers?
We provide all interactive gaming experiences for brand activations, trade shows, hospitality suites, corporate events, anything from our giant human claw to the ultimate sports arena, anything that's unique and different and engaging for audiences.
Nice. And you have been working with large corporations, right? Like JP Morgan, Salesforce,
Yes,
Target. They-
yes.
Yeah, they
The
are also
majority.
like an event customers. So that's happy to share that
Correct.
as well.
The majority of our customers are Fortune 500 companies, including Amazon, Microsoft, Google, like you said, Target, Bloomberg, JP Morgan Chase, American Express. They're just some of our clients, as well as we work with a lot of marketing agencies as well.
Okay, that's great. So BizBash is gathering right the most influential organizers in the event industry this year. It by the way, it's gonna be my first time in Detroit. I was in Puerto Rico. That was a very nice experience. You also were there, right, in Puerto Rico?
Yes, we were there.
And
Yes.
how was it?
It was good.
Yeah,
It was definitely different. As being a first Biz Bash show, not in like a different area. I would say like warmer weather than normal. But it was great because we got to meet different clientele that we normally wouldn't have met at another trade show. So meeting those contacts and going to the events that they planned was just more exposure for our company itself.
And as well as offering what the culture and what Puerto Rico has to offer for the events industry, it opened our eyes to other venues and also areas on which we could have events.
nice. That's great. Yeah. So we have seen a lot of significant change in our industry, right? Especially during the pandemic. Now, post pandemic, everything's changing and trying to set like a normal way on live events. And but for you, what exactly is going on for like event professionals? The event professionals must be very resilient because they a lot of them probably lost their job or they needed to reshape them, change, designing new solutions, and now going back to in person. What do you think those impacts, those trends for 2022, its impact on the event professionals life?
I think there was a lot of changes in the event industry. I mean, first of all, we went from starting, we were, going at 100 to 100 miles an hour to zero when the event industry was completely shut down. Obviously, for us, we had to pivot. So we pivoted to virtual event, which sustained us and taught us a lot of resiliency. I think now coming back, some of the challenges for the event professionals are more with staffing. It's a very tight labor market. Obviously, we've all heard about the Great Resignation. People are really, and that affects also the hospitality business. So I think the challenges are what we found primarily is staffing. Staffing has been challenging. Costs are going up with inflation. You have on top of it, you have COVID, which the new regulations and how to make sure you're running a safe event, especially if it's a large event. So those are some of the challenges, and I think we've met those, and really, you know, are up for the challenge coming back in a really aggressive way. I mean, we've really taken all instances and just looked at it and formed workflows to make sure that they're safe events, our staff is up to par, as well as controlling costs.
Perfect. And what about you, like Danielle and Ariel? Did you had a moment that you thought like, I have to quit right now. I cannot, I cannot support everything that is going on. I cannot live this way. I think all of us we had a moment like that. I don't know if it was like the great resignation for you, saying like, oh, I don't have staff to help me. It's hard to hire people. What
You know
was
what?
the moment that was?
I've been with the company 18 plus years. I
Wow,
think if I
that's
did
amazing.
not love what I do, you know what I mean? That was never a thought. You know, we're full force here. This is, we all enjoy and love what we do. And I think that we've pushed through so much and been through so much, that it only shows that, you know, we're here, you know, we're excited for what's going to come after all this. We're excited that brands now are going to the next level and really have to showcase what they have and what they're trying to get across to the public, if it's a brand event or if it's a trade show. They're really taking it to the next level, which is exactly what we want to say at this point.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I definitely agree with that. I think now, especially since I feel like a lot of companies feel like they lost out on like 2 full years, like now they're like really trying to take it to the next level and just like go bigger than like ever before. And I think that people are just like a lot more excited about events than they were in the past.
Yes, and I do believe that the experiential marketing portion of it, as opposed to pre-COVID, is now even accelerated now post-COVID because the demographics and for branding, when you're branding, having an event, not only you really have to experience, it has to be an experience. They need to feel it. They need to leave there feeling good about the brand, the culture, what they want to get across. The objectives are clearer, and that's kind of where we bring in our interactive games and gamification purposes to really bring that event to the next level.
We're that extra piece where people find that unique and different way to show their content of what they're looking to do. Like we really take that to the extreme where if it's a giant human claw where they're showcasing fruit of the loom stuff inside the human claw where the client can see their new product that they're showcasing, or you know, something that really pertains to what they're showing, what they're trying to get across to the crowd.
Perfect. Yeah. So it comes in my mind a very important aspect that is the cost to bring all those ideas, to bring all those experiences to live, to reality. How can companies, small companies, like we are talking more with like probably big companies, more right? That those are the companies that we work more, but maybe for a small project, how they can make those events affordable and is to create a lot of experiences and is to engage their audience in a unique way.
Yeah, so for that, I would say that rather than maybe if this is like a trade show, like rather than focusing on having just like this grand, ginormous booth design that may look really great, but that doesn't necessarily equate to success. It's more about having an interactive element. So if you could just bring in like a fun, interactive idea, something as simple as when we were coming back from the pandemic, we did this back to campaign where we just had a giant LED wall as our booth, and people would fill out what they're most excited to get back to from the pandemic. We had like all kinds of fun responses. It wasn't something that was super expensive to produce, but it was something that people really enjoyed, and it people felt like really engaged rather than just being able to see some like grand booth design.
I think people actually really enjoyed it. I think the fact that they were able to write it down, back to traveling, back to trade shows. I think people really like took a second and like thought about it. You're right. We are getting back to doing all that
Yes.
stuff that we loved, and which is
And then that it
good.
also just translated further even into social media. Like there were so many people who were just passing by the wall and were so excited about it, and like we're looking at all the responses and posting about it. So um, that
Yeah,
was
that
like
was a very successful campaign on our recent trade shows, as well as we also offered that at the Connect show. We did that as well. And that was a simple, like Ariel said, that was a very cost effective way to engage an audience, but yet it was very successful. It doesn't have to be costly to be interactive. You just have to think out of the box.
Nice, nice. And coming back to the BizBash show, what do you think BizBash is special for you? Now we have all this. We enable many connections online, right? So we can be working from home. It's a reality, or even not from home, but anywhere in the country you can be working and doing business. But then it comes those moments that we can be in person and have like everything that we're talking here live. Like we're gonna be able to meet there in Detroit and have this in person experience. So, what do you think BizBash is so special for you?
I think that Biz Bash is a very special show. The reason being is they are the pulse of the event industry nationwide. They're always ahead of the next trend. These trade shows allow us to meet with our clientele and really just communicate with them on a one on in person, which we haven't done in the last 2 years. The clientele there is a perfect fit for us. There's a lot of corporate partners nationwide. It allows us to nurture relationships, existing relationships, and expose us to new clientele. And it's a chance for us to showcase our new products, what's new, and find inspiration for other new product developments. It allows us to get new ideas.
Perfect. Anything else like for you, Ariel? It's a nice place to get more ideas for new content for I don't know something that you've seen on Puerto Rico, for example. That you said I needed to talk about this more and more with our customers.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, not only are we exhibiting, but we're also looking for new ideas. So, every show, at least one of us from our booth will usually walk around and engage with the other exhibitors and, tell them more about what we do. They tell us about what they do and, like, see if there's any room for collaboration. I've definitely had a few calls since Puerto Rico, which could, turn into something which is great.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. We are learning. We have been 10 trade shows all over the world, not only here in the US, but also we went to IMAX in Frankfurt, Europe, and we see how different BizBash is, especially like uh, I'm a nerd, right? Like I love to talk about technology and the things that we
Uh,
build. But some customers they say like, oh, I don't want to talk about like technology. I just want to talk about like my vacation time, where I go, where I'm gonna watch my next baseball game. So how do you feel that like it's really easy for you to just talk about like other things and don't talk about business at all? Like I don't know, for me sometimes I needed to talk about like what are the problems you have, what are the challenges, and sometimes people they don't want to talk about this during the trade shows.
Well, I think that one thing that BizBash and Connect do really well is the events that take place like in the evenings after the trade shows, and that's just like more of a relaxed, fun setting where it doesn't feel like it's work, but you're still able to make those connections.
I would
So I'm
agree. I
definitely
definitely
excited to see what's in store for Detroit because in Puerto Rico, they really did a excellent job.
they did.
yes, they,
They
they do a
totally.
great job, and it allows us to catch up on a personal level and build those relationships. And at the end of the day, it allows us to the challenges that they faced during COVID that we've all experienced, and other people in other industries don't understand. And it's great to get together and see that we've all come out of this stronger. stronger and smarter and working more efficiently. And it's nice to share stories.
That's perfect. Yeah. Yes, I think when you put those things together, because sometimes when you are online, we don't create the same level of engagement, right? Even if we try, it's not the same thing as being in person and just start to have like those small chats and things about our life. But now it's combined, right? Like you go back to your office and you can connect online. You can do Zoom meetings anytime, but you have that special connection, right? Something that is unique
Correct.
between you and that person.
You, you can never take away in-person events. I mean, for a while during COVID, I think virtual events, everyone's like virtual events will stay. I know the majority of people we've connected at the trade shows and events, and everyone's just so happy to get back to live events because the human interaction is something that can't be measured. And yes, virtual events are here to stay, but the human interaction is still the most important thing when you do have live events.
I think it's one of the big things with this trade show is, or any trade show, is the clients that I am working with that I've worked over for the years. Like you didn't see them for a while, you didn't talk to them for a while, and then I was able to connect with them between the appointments and coming to the booth. There's so many people that come over. Oh, Danielle, how are you? Like that to me, is why you do events and you work with these clients, is that you are building that relationship or year after year after year. And even if it's just for them to come say hi, what do you have new? It's still that face to face connection, versus obviously just on a Zoom or something like that.
Yes.
So we are all happy to be back in person, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very happy. Very happy.
Yeah.
Very
Nice.
happy.
But is there something in particular that you're missing on those trade shows that you would like to have? I don't know. The organization should think a little bit more on the online experience for people that don't go, or it's too hard. Like the online is still something we are learning, so they should focus on, I don't know, creating more moments. I love those
Right.
late, like the evening moments was, I think, was all perfect for me.
Yes, I think that with the trade shows and now everything's been accelerated due to COVID with hybrid, with trade shows offering that virtual element on a trade show live or a live stream really allows people to connect and go to the trade show, maybe not in person if they can't for whatever reasons. I mean, personal, professional reasons, it allows them to still participate. So having that hybrid element, I think, is a game changer. And I think with COVID, it taught us a lot that if you can't go to a trade show, I think everyone has upped their game, the trade show producers, on how to make it where people could still feel like they're at a trade show, even though if they're physically not. And that's a
Perfect.
positive that's come out of COVID.
Yes, I think yeah, there are a lot of things to implement, right? To create more this feeling, and even when you go back to your office, when you go back to home, it is easy to watch. For example, one of the sessions, I didn't have time to pretty much watch any of the sessions we had Puerto Rico. So if it's easy to get the on-demand content after, right? I think it's a great value that I've been missing. Even like a big festivals like South by Southwest, I don't see them provide like a smooth process, or I don't know, they're charging extra, right? Like I've paid like almost $2,000 for the ticket, and now you're charging me extra to watch the session that I could have been watching in person. But sometimes because you have like a 3 4 breakout rooms, you needed to pick one. So it will be nice. It will be very interesting to see this
Yeah,
this
it allows you, like you said, it gives another component that if there is multiple breakout rooms going on or educational seminars at the same time, whether it's at a trade show or at a an event in an educational setting, it allows you to go back and, like you said, not miss out and have to choose which session you'd like to participate in. It allows you to really get the full map. Whereas before that, I think that was something we all missed pre-COVID. Like, why do we have to select? Now we should be able to just see everything and not have to choose.
It opens up many doors, I think.
Many doors, correct.
Yeah, many doors.
So you really feel that also in terms of clientele, like do you feel that you get new customers on those trade shows, or do you feel like more you
I
are
think
there to create a relationship with ongoing? Like,
it's both. I think I have the same clients that do come, over and say hi, how are you? And then I think you have a good portion of new clientele that's never heard of us before because it's a different area that they can go to, or if it's different, it we did do all the virtual shows when they did virtual as well. So it definitely people who not necessarily could come to the United States now can watch us on that virtual session when they did it. So I do
Correct.
feel like it's both
mhm.
that we got. I do think we met some new people when we went to Puerto Rico, which was really nice. And then, I have some people that I see all the time.
I
Yes.
do think also with COVID and with everything going on with the great resignation and people changing jobs, leaving jobs, whatever the case may be, there's a lot of people who've stepped into new positions, and new positions that have opened that has created, and now they're attending the shows, which we normally wouldn't have such a shakeup. And there's a lot of new contacts and people and leads that are coming to the show that has opened up a whole nother set of doors. Um, so yes, I think it's very important to get back to the trade shows.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think in general, you will need to combine people from different roles and mindset to create a unique event, and
Correct.
we see all those people coming to really learn. Right, we have people like you, like 18 years in the industry, people with even more time in the industry, but there are always is just something to learn. Right, it's so energetic industry that things change so
Yes.
quick. There are so many possibilities, and you need to be on top of the curve, on top of
Yes. I
the
think that
trends.
the event industry has evolved. It's become more, we've all become a little bit more tech savvy since COVID has hit. And I think also our as far as learning and being more tech has accelerated during COVID, like something that would have taken maybe 5 to 10 years because of COVID. We were all forced to up our game and our tech skills and education. And I think it's accelerated in the event industry, and I think it's something that's going to be a very big trend. Tech is just become a very big part of events now. Not that it wasn't before, but it's just we've seen such an increase just in experiential marketing and activations. It's become very technologically advanced, more
Mhm.
so at a much greater rate than before.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen that that proposal you mentioned. The some of the experiences you brought in the beginning, like after the pandemic was almost gone. So, but regarding like a summer picnics or any, what is your process? What is your like a creative process to create unique experiences for your clients? Sometimes, of course, it's easy to kind of copy and paste, right? Kind of create a template
Right.
and just replicate, but when you know like that particular customer needs something unique to buy in or to really like commit, what is your unique like creative process? Is there something that you develop something internally, or do you like to use like a design thinking methodologies?
I think what we do is once we get a call, and Danielle could elaborate a little bit more on this, when we do get that sales call from a client and they're having something, I think the most important thing is to listen, 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 and listen to the clients on what they want, what they're looking for, what their objectives are. And at that point, we take all that information and we kind of brainstorm with our team and figure out if we could accomplish that. And if we could accomplish that within their budget and also within the time frame depending upon the event. And I'll let Danielle get into more of that because she deals a little more than I do with the clients directly on that process. But that's where it starts.
Yeah, I would say we really hold their hand and we really find what best fits them for the event itself. So if it means that we are brainstorming and coming up with their theme of the event, and then within that theme, we pull the products that fit within that theme, and look for what their end result is. If they're looking for team building, or they're looking for something that could have customization and branding, we really get down to the nitty gritty of what they're looking to accomplish.
And also create the environment and the after effect, whether it's a social media tie-in with that event. Obviously, now with events, everything is tied into some sort of social media. So
That's true.
we really try to get them after the event their ROI, the return on the investment, to meet their objectives.
Yes, yes. You have to be everywhere, right? Like your event, the experience you are creating, you need to replicate this on social media, some level, at
Yes,
least a sneak peek of what happened.
Social media
yes,
is very powerful these days.
yes.
Yeah, like it's obviously a huge part of our personal lives, but in terms of events, it's just so big and just encouraging those real-time interactions, and it just like is so much more familiar and relatable than, what traditional advertising has been in the past. So whether you're like doing a direct social media tie-in, like we have something called our social media vending machine, where it's a fully branded vending machine and people tweet with a custom hashtag. The branded swag is automatically dispensed. Not only is it beneficial to the attendee who's getting a fun piece of swag, but it's also beneficial to the brand who is, getting that exposure on social media. And even if it's not something that's directly tied to social media, as long as it's something that's like a shareable experience. I know we've mentioned our giant human claw machine, but like it's such an Instagrammable thing. Most recently at VidCon, we had our human claw go viral with over 25 million impressions, which is kind of
Wow.
crazy. So just, finding stuff that's really just like interactive and people like want to engage with is like just huge.
Did you try that 360 video? Like I think there's like a spot that you goes on, then the
Yes, we
camera.
have
Yeah,
that.
we
Yes.
Yeah, we have
yeah.
that.
But you did it for yourself already, like kind of post on your social media.
But
Because you did you do it for yourself already, like and post on your social media, or only for your customers? Because
We
then in Puerto
um
Rico,
played around with
they
that.
yeah, in Puerto Rico
We played
they had
around.
one, right? Like in Puerto Rico they
Yes.
put one.
Yes, we did the
Mhm.
one.
yeah, we went on the
We
one
did
in
that
Puerto Rico, yeah.
one.
Uh-huh.
We had fun.
I was so afraid of that machine. I said like someone we're gonna fail, like I don't know, but
Yeah, it
Uh-huh.
was
it's
a fun
nice.
one.
The final result is so cool.
So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. That's awesome. And yeah, I think we are approaching our time here. But so when it comes to ROI, let's talk about ROI on both sides. ROI on you exhibiting on those trade shows. Do you feel like you were getting what you were promised, or you were getting even more than you was expecting?
It's hard to put an exact amount on it. However, if we meet five potential like new customers, that's a win for us, and that's a very
Nice.
successful show. Even one large client and an account can completely cover the cost of the show and make the show worthwhile. So yeah, as far as the BizBash show, we found our return on our investment has been amazing. The contacts
Nice.
we've met, the accounts we've picked up, not only meeting new clients, but also meeting new vendors and potential partners helps us also with our business and expansion. And it sparks, as far as like return on our investment, sparking new ideas, getting new ideas at a show and speaking to our people, industry peers, also is part of that. We include that in our return on our investment.
Great. That's good. Yeah. So yeah, I just forget to mention this was one of the questions we have here, the questions tab on the right side. We have some questions people are posting there. So I'm fishing there some of those questions. I think this last one was from Angelica. So thank you, Angelica, for the question. And also, do you think there are enough trade shows in our industry? Like we have BizBash, IMAX here in the US. I think those are the two main ones. Do you think is there are still place for more trade shows in our industry? This is also a question from Angelica.
I think we can
I
always learn. Oh, sorry, Pat. You can go.
no, you're good.
I think we can always learn more. I think you can always be your best self with learning. So, I mean, I think we have a lot now. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it having more, but I think,
We're bad to travel, right? Especially for different cities. Don't do it in Las Vegas or Detroit anymore. Do it somewhere else.
I think
Yeah.
it's you can only make new client, and all the connections that you're making is the more people you meet, the more potential clients and business it could be for the company.
Yes.
So I think it just opens up more doors for us to produce more events.
I think also the quality of the trade shows, not necessarily the number of trade shows, but the
Agree.
quality. Like BizBash is a quality show. And I think to me, I would rather go to two quality shows than five shows that are, the cost that it does to produce a trade show, to put together a booth, to staff it, the electric, the carpeting, the drayage, it's very high cost for a lot of the exhibitors.
Yeah.
So to me, I would rather go to a smaller number of quality shows like BizBash. But obviously, I'm not opposed to having more shows if they're quality.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this quality creates a level of, your brand is there as well. You're gonna be part of something that is like high quality
Correct.
as well. So they will
Correct.
perceive you. They will, your awareness will be even better.
And a
That's
well-run
nice.
show. A well-run show. Like
They run a
I've
good
been
Yeah,
show.
it
to
makes a
Yeah.
yeah,
difference. Yeah.
we've BizBash, as far as with their shows, they're extremely detail oriented. It's very smooth transition. They have every basis covered as far as what you need, the exhibitors need, the vendors need. After hours, they make it fun for us after we've worked all day, meeting with our client and exposing us to new areas and where to have events. And I've seen other shows that aren't run as well. I think they do a flawless execution. So that makes our life much easier to have a partner, have a great partner to do a trade show.
Nice. Yes. Perfect. Yeah. So, one last question. I think we touched a lot about this, but was from Cecilia. This question: what do you think is important, or trends have you seen in regards to producing and engaging hybrid events? So, when it comes to hybrid events, we mentioned about social media, how social media is important for your customers and for your attendees, right? Like attendees, they want to engage with their mobile, like they have their powerful smartphone and they want to take advantage of this. So anything else that you have seen as a great important trend?
I think Ariel could elaborate a little bit more on this. We've done a lot of hybrid and trade shows and virtual trade show experiences, and we've tried to incorporate some of our virtual game shows into those trade shows and make it more engaging and fun. And Ariel could kind of walk you through on what we did and what we did in the past with some of the other trade shows that were really successful.
I mean, one example could be something as simple as like taking one of our virtual events and kind of putting it into a live setting. So, not only people who are at the live event could participate, but people could also participate virtually. So, one thing we've done in the past is our virtual bingo game, and just getting everyone to be able to participate is something new that in the past you would have never even thought to include people who weren't attending the show. So I think that's like a good example, just like combining the two, virtual and live, together.
Yeah, and just engaging with them and giving away prizes that are maybe even be brandable giveaways through our brand ties. And like I said, it allows you to engage with the customers, not only at the live show, but engage in the hybrid sense. And that really turned out to be very successful for us. So it was a way for us to advertise, engage, give away some swag, meet new clients, leads.
Yeah, I would say swags. Like people love swags, especially
People love
socks. We did a lot of socks in our last trade show.
Yes, and we were doing, well, what we were doing with the virtual, with the hybrid events, we were doing e-cards. So we were doing customized branded e-cards from the brand because they weren't there in person. So it was actually very, very successful. Very successful.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to meeting you all in Detroit next week. I will arrive there on Sunday. Anything else do you want to share about interactive entertainment group or anything else?
come
Stop
by
by
our
booth
booth.
1438.
Stop by our
That's
booth.
right. Come visit us.
Come visit
Of
us.
course.
We have some really fun interactive stuff. I don't want to give too much away, but we have some virtual reality. We have an upside
Engagement.
down challenge. Our whole theme is turning events upside down. So definitely stop by if you want to see what that's all about.
Yes, let's take some photo, post on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
And tell us you saw us on this. Say
Yes.
I watched.
That would be great.
Perfect.
All right, yeah. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming today. I
Thank
really
you,
like
Vinny.
our
We
session,
appreciate it.
and yeah,
We'll see
I
you in
see
Thank you
you.
Detroit.
so
Yeah,
much.
see you, Detroit.
See you in
Take
Detroit.
care.
Bye-bye.
See you in
Bye.
Detroit. Bye.
Bye bye.